We're live.
Oh, God. All righty then.
Let's see. Let's take a look here. We got one person. Yeah, go ahead and share this out to everybody, guys. I know we said 3 o'clock, but we're running on Indian time, so you know how things go. We're filling up. Let's get everybody in here. Share this out, guys. Tell your auntie. Tell your uncle. Tell your former snag. Tell everybody.
I'm here. I'm in. I'm in the chat.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Probably just go ahead and start going as people come in. 15 minutes late.
I know we're. No, I was in Eureka Springs this past week. You know, Chris has been down there a few times, and Chris, I'm just gonna ask your opinion. Does Eureka Springs, Arkansas, does it give you the same kind of weird vibe of the town? Just a weird kind of, not uneasiness, but more of like a, just, it's hard to explain. Maybe like a, not a nervous, but just it does something's off.
Yeah, I definitely say it's kind of a weird place to visit, but I always have a good time when I'm there. And, you know, there's so much to do there, but, you know, I had mentioned this before, you know, that Eureka Springs, they have a lot of, I don't know how you say, like, they sell a lot of those minerals and stuff, you know, like crystals and all kinds of, they even have witchcraft books that you can buy there. And they have, what do you call it, fortune tellers and palm readers there. And so it's just got that, I definitely understand that weird vibe there. And I know a lot of the places that are there are old. And, you know, a lot of that, you know, that you'll see around there, you know, they have underground tunnels and rivers around that. You know, all that stuff, you know, brings energy, you know, whether it's positive or negative. But, you know, for a ghost hunter, that's definitely a paradise place to visit.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a lot of haunted places there that you can visit, and some that you've heard of and some of them that you haven't heard of. So that's a good place to visit. I hope everybody can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Hey, if you're in the chat, give us a 1 if you can hear us.
Can you hear us in the chat?
Give us a 1.
Know.
But no, yeah, I was this past week in Eureka Springs, and when we pulled up about 2-ish, 3 o'clock, and you know when we pulled into the town, I'm like, why is there no cars on the road? I'm like, because we're here, you know, based in Tulsa, and it's like, why are there no cars? You know, I just don't understand. Well, we get to our cabin where we're at, when this cabin's in the middle of nowhere, and, you know, there's no, and I don't understand this about Airbnbs. I'm not trying to trash on the Airbnb. It was nice. But, like, you have all these windows and no curtains. Like, I'm trying to run around here in my skibbies, man. Like, you know, Bigfoot could be watching me out here, you know, or DW, you know, you just never know. But you know, like I said, I was in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and we pulled into town, and as we got to the downtown area, I noticed that there's churches, there's like Coven Wiccan like places, there's crystals. Another weird thing too about it, there's bikers. I said, dang, I didn't see so many bikers. Like, there's hardly a Harley Davidson store here in Tulsa. There's like one big one in Eureka Springs. And so, you know, I just thought it was so weird being there, because it's like so many different ideas, like, you know, when it comes to like left and right politics, you know, and also too, like, we were talking to storefront owners and people like that, and they were just like, this place is weird. And I'm like, how? They're like, you have to live here, or you have to be here for an extended period of time. Like, tourists don't understand how weird this place is. And she wouldn't go into it. But the one thing I'll say, and Chris, you might have heard this when you were down in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I keep saying Eureka Springs just in case people are, coming. If you're coming in, we're talking about Eureka Springs, Arkansas. But they kept talking about people in the woods. I had multiple people tell me about like people living out in the woods. I had the trolley driver was like, "Hey, by the way, do not, if you guys want to go camping or if you want to do this, just don't venture out where you're not supposed to." And I'm like, "Why?" There's people that live in the woods. I'm like, that's kind of wild. And they wouldn't, that was as far as they went with it. They would not describe what was in the woods. Or like who, or like they were talking about Bigfoot. So Chris, I don't know, Russell, I don't know if you've ever heard anything about people living in the woods is like, people just out there.
Oh yeah, I even we when we were down there, we went on some of those trails. They have a lot of walking trails down there, and you see a lot of campers down there. Some of them, I don't know if they're really campers or they're homeless people. They look like they've been there for a while. But, I do know there are people that, kind of live in those woods. But I think that's pretty common in, any of those backwood areas like that, So, I know you'll run across those. I had a question for you while you was there. Where'd you go eat at?
Shoot. God, you want to talk about everywhere? Everywhere. No, we went to Cafe Amore off that 62 highway. That was, really good. Italian restaurant, and it's pure Italian because our waiter. I don't know if he was putting on an accent. Dude sounded Italian to me. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma, so I don't know that slice of life. But another place we went to was this breakfast place in downtown. Where else, man? God, we ate somewhere. Sparky's. Sparky's is real good. I had a weird sandwich. It was like a not even on the menu sandwich. I was like, what's the special? They're like, oh, it's just, this and this. I'm like, let's do that. It was all right. It was like an olive oil type paste. But I'll tell you the best I ever had, best food I ever had up there was at McDonald's. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. True, yeah.
Quick Trip.
No, I'm just playing. But we went and ate, and like I said, I don't know, everyone can have their opinion on the food in Eureka Springs, but the Basin Hotel. I thought I had a breakfast burger. I had a few drinks the night before. Just enjoying my vacation. And that saved me. It brought me back to life, and it was really good. And I was really impressed with the breakfast burger. And but it was really good. Like a lot of the food there is weird. It's different. Like it's not traditionally like it's weird how you have a traditional Italian restaurant, but then you also have like down home Southern cooking, like in a cafe.
Yeah,
it's just Eureka Springs is hard to describe, and that's just I haven't ever been anywhere that's where we could describe it in that way.
Never been there.
The place that I think about when it comes to eating is right before you come into town. They had this like a little gas station. Had two fish cross like that, but they had the best pizza I've ever eaten. It had a real thick crust, a lot of cheese, a lot of meat. It was just good all the way around. Yeah. It wasn't that expensive either. I don't even know what that place was called, but I just know I got those old Indian directions, those two fish that's crossed like that way. And it was good like that.
And so, like I said, with Eureka Springs, I know we're talking about, the town, but what y'all really came here for is the investigation of the Crescent Hotel. I know that's what y'all came here for. Well, we went on the ghost tour. We paid a little extra to do this, and I guess they have like a little part of it where you do a little bit more than than the regular tours do. Well, we went down into the morgue, and basically we had a little I don't know what device he had, but it was like high tech. It was real nice. But we were down in the morgue, and I guess how the legend goes is he would put different people's body parts and organs down this drain. He'd basically clean the blood and all that stuff down this drain. Well, every time he put that device over that drain, it lit up like hardcore. Like there was a lot of activity, a lot of energy, electricity in those drains, in this one drain. So I just thought that was kind of interesting when it came to that Crescent Hotel. Crescent, I know you've been there before, and Russell's never been to Eureka Springs. That might be we might have to load up and go as Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation and fly that flag real high and go down there and do that. That'd be sick.
Well, I had a question for you. I don't know if you can answer this or you want to answer this. I don't know, but when you went down in that basement, did you take a husk? No.
Man, I forgot all that. I forgot to bring my cedar and everything. I literally got there. I was like, man, because I'm not gonna lie to you. The cabin we were staying in, there was places around it, at an extended, but it was all woods out there. And I'm like, dang, I forgot this. I forgot the cedar, man, because there were some times in there it was kind of weird. It was weird in that hotel. They talking about this kid named Berkey who died. I guess he got sick. I honestly really wasn't paying attention because I heard something behind me and there was nobody there. Somebody was coming down the stairs, and it was it was weird. Like it sounded like somebody's coming down the steps from the third floor to the second floor. And I looked behind me and there was nobody there. And I went to test it out, and I walked down the steps and I hit all those creaks that whatever that was hit. And I'm like, oh God, this is why I like being last, because you get all the tourists and people that are there just to hear the stories and the history. And I was like, no, I wanted something to happen to me, so I know, okay, there is something going on here. It's crazy though.
I had a question too. I know the last time I went there, it was maybe the next year after I've been there. They told me, or it was on the news, that there was somebody up on one of those top levels down by the staircase. I don't know if they were buzzed up or what, but they fell off those stairs to the very bottom and died. And I was wondering if there's any spirits in there after that. I mean, that spirit of that individual that died, or did they even talk about that?
This is getting into that. They wouldn't. This is one thing too I thought was real weird about Eureka Springs. They would not talk about certain things about that hotel. Like there was the guy who was very knowledgeable. Don't get me wrong, but he would kind of stop himself on stuff like that about the darker history of Eureka Springs. But there was a girl who they don't know how she died, but fell down. Basically, there's a little staircase out on the outside of the building. That kind of what you're talking about? No,
this was inside. Like I said, they had like a dance room up there, and I don't know, this individual, I don't know if they were buzzed up or whatever, just got next to that rail and somehow just fell off. But, people that were around this individual said it looked like someone pushed them, but there was no one standing next to him. So yeah,
I guess there's two occasions, because the one that I heard, and like I said, that could have been a different thing. I didn't hear anything about that, but they did talk about the stairs, and the guy who was a tour guide, like I said, they wouldn't go into some of the stuff. I'm like, what's the darker history that you guys you're leaving out? And I think that's a little weird to me. I'm already kind of conspiracy guy anyways, and I'm like, what's the history you're not telling about? But the one that they told was about a girl who got, I don't know if she got pushed or she fell, but she fell outside into the garden area and died, hit her head and died. And so that's one thing that, about Eureka Springs that I'm still, I'm going to figure you out. I'm going to come back and I'm going to figure out, and I'm going to start asking harder questions. If you're anybody from Eureka Springs in the chat, or if you're from Arkansas, and you heard something, definitely put it in the chat and we'll discuss it. But, I know, we're talking about Eureka Springs. Does anyone, if you have been to Eureka Springs and had heard any stories or something happened to you, throw it in the chat. We want to hear those things. And like the stream, hit that like button. I want to see all them hearts go up. Like the stream. But we just got done talking. I guess we just got done recording an episode. It's gonna be. I guess Russell, if you want to go into that a little bit, kind of, what's coming down the pipeline.
We got Big Chief 1665. How goes it? What's going on, man? It's going good. Everybody put a 1. I guess they can hear us. JG, where y'all from? Oklahoma.
Good old Okie country.
Mick Dumdy, morning from New Zealand.
Oh.
What's up, New Zealand?
Hey, there we go.
Thank you for tuning in.
Much obliged.
Tar 42, hello there. How's it going, Tar?
Tar, where you from? We need some check-ins. Where's everybody from in the if you're in the chat or if you're in the stream, where are you from? Go, throw that in the chat for us.
Maddie Bear, sup brothers? What's going on? Let us know where you're from. Put some interesting stories in the chat. If you've been to Eureka Springs, let us know. I was gonna say that wasn't there a guy in the chat before? Is that he was talking about feral people? Is that from there?
I think that's where he was talking about it, and that's like I said, the person who was driving the trolley warned us about it. The guy, because I had pulled the guy off to the side and kind of asked him. I was like, hey, do you know, is there any shadow people stories in this building? He's like, man, I don't really, kind of evaded the question a little bit, So that's why I'm kind of curious on, if there's anybody in the chat, or if you've been there and you've, or you got somebody from there, I want to hear these things because they're not telling the full truth. And I hate to be that guy to be like calling you out like, hey, but I'm just so curious because that feral people, stuff that we talked about, Chris and I just talked about, it's like, that's interesting. If they're back there, like wrong turn or like, or if they're out, back there doing that, back there, brothers and sisters in Christ. No, I'm just playing. But, it's crazy to me. I'm curious about that.
Dang.
Keep putting where you're at in the chat, guys. We want to know,
Kia ora, New Zealand. That was from Mick Dumdy, Lady Day, Muskogee Res.
Hey, there we go.
Lewinsky, NYC. Hey, Lewinsky's back in here.
Lewinsky, hey, we appreciate you coming back. You've been in
chilling out.
Yeah, you've been in all our chats. We appreciate you.
Brian. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher that last name. Oklahoma though.
Okay. What part of Oklahoma? You in southeast, northeast? Where you at? What part?
Wonderful counselor 405, Wildwood, OKC. Tyler Stafford 12, Anadarko, Oklahoma. Stephen Saint, okay, so Oklahoma, assuming. Carne asada taco. I had a girlfriend who moved to England and said she saw shadow people in the house, and she moved into.
Oh gosh!
People in the house she moved into, she had to move out.
Wow. Man, wow.
We talked a lot about on a coming episode. We talk about shadow people and Top Hat Man a little bit. That episode will be out this coming Friday. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel or on Apple and Spotify. We got a lot going on.
Dang, I want to talk about carne asadas, though.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
That one name got me going.
Man, I'm getting hungry, too.
I felt you out there like that. Oh.
Effortless, Arizona. Shout out to Arizona.
Hey, we just talked about a little bit. Is that Pueblo people? Is that where they're from?
No, the ones I was talking about, they're in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
We just did an episode about Skinwalker Ranch that should be out in a few weeks, probably the beginning of October.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Lolly's Life, Norman. Somebody said Southside.
Oh, he's from southern Oklahoma. Okay.
April Chula from Portland, Oregon. What's up? Carne asada taco from Texas. Houston.
There you go, Chris.
Texas, that is.
I like that one.
April, hello from Portland, Oregon. I am Danae from the Nation.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Like I said, guys, like the stream. Like I said, with more likes, it gives us more motivation to get on here. But we had kind of, talked about in the past when it came to, the shadow people. Does anyone in here have any like shadow people or top hat? I guess I'll go ahead and I'll give this story. I had somebody, had contacted me about it. About I guess when it came to that, is he saw it in the corner of his room, similar to what I've experienced, and it's a family member. So, if you got anybody out there that has that, and they're want to tell that story, go ahead and unsolvedreservationmysteries@gmail.com. I'll post that in the chat too as well.
Let's see. Celia Brunk, Michigan. Boujou? I might be saying that wrong. Sorry if I am. Colin, hello. You cut out. Hello from OKC. I love y'all's podcast. Finished all the episodes already at work. we got more. We got one coming out Friday, so hopefully you love that one too. Hello from Ponca City.
Hey, there
Batty Bella. What's going on? Mr. Miller 295 in the woods like them cats in the film Deliverance.
Dang, yeah. That little dude playing that banjo. I knew he was up to no good looking like that.
Stephen St. Micah. I've seen LPs out by Earlsboro when I was a kid. I was at a medicine man's house.
Earlsboro, where's that at?
Yeah, where's Earlsboro? Celia Brunk said it right. Oh, nice. Alan.
Dang.
Jeez, Marble City.
Marble City.
Deer Clan. What's that saying?
That's His J. What's going on with you?
They're good, man. Y'all are funny. Stephen near Shawnee. Oh, Earlsboro near Shawnee.
Oh, okay.
When will you guys be in Okmulgee?
Ooh, Chris, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and plug that, Chris.
What is it, on the 20th?
22nd, I think.
22nd. Somewhere around there. We'll be there that weekend. So y'all come on down. And the day before that, we'll be at Eufaula.
That's my people out there.
And the day before that, we'll be at Tulsa Public Libraries. So come out to one of them.
What time's the Tulsa one?
I don't know yet. They haven't sent me the info yet. But we're scheduled, though.
That's good.
5 a.m.
God,
I'll be out there at 11 a.m. No, I'll be there. I'm taking that week off too. I'm so excited for our future events. I know we got Chris. If you want to go ahead and plug Purim.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
October 8th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
October 8th, Saturday. The Powwows for a Cure powwows going on in Purim, Oklahoma. It's a cancer benefit powwow. You know, if you got anybody that's either suffered from cancer or suffering from cancer right now, or maybe they lost their life to cancer, you know, this will be a great opportunity for you to give back, to honor those individuals that lost their lives to cancer. They do a lightning at night where they light all these candles for all the ones that have passed on. If you have a loved one, I think it's just like $5, and you can get a candle in that loved one's name, and they'll light that candle at that lighting candle ceremony. It's very beautiful. They've done that for the past 4 years. And, you know, it's a great opportunity if you've lost someone or somebody's struggling with cancer right now, to give them encouragement. You know, come on down, you know, and all the proceeds goes to one of those cancer organizations. I can't remember which one, but it's one of the cancer organizations that get the funding to do research on a cure for cancer. So again, you know, if you've got somebody or you know somebody, come on down. They'll have a lot of opportunities for you to give back to these individuals, or just give encouragement to that loved one that might be suffering. So, you know, if you get a chance, come on down. What oh?
Come on down and see us. October 8th. Brian, east of OKC. Deer Clan, ain't Earlsboro by Seminole. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Tulsa date, December,
God.
October 20th,
Yeah,
Tulsa.
October 20th.
October 20th, Tulsa. 21st, Eufaula. 22nd, Okmulgee.
That Okmulgee or the Eufaula. If you guys are around there, that's my people. We're going to be over at my uncle's house. Is that? I think that's the correct location. That information will be publicized by Eufaula Canadian Tribal Town on their Facebook. So, you know, if you want that information, that'll be out there. They haven't posted it yet. If you guys want to see, or if you guys really want to, well, I guess you want to see and hear, they take my people. You know, we kind of crazy a little bit. We say the names of these things, of these entities and these beings, and we go hard. they've been doing this for decades. This storytelling event, and they had, Chris has been out there a lot of years emceeing it for us, and respect. Got a lot of respect for Chris. You're doing that, but they're gonna go hard. They're gonna really, hear things. You're gonna be walking back to your car, and you're gonna maybe have somebody following you. You ain't gonna be there. It'll be shadows. It's out. It's in the middle of nowhere too. I know Chris can probably speak on some of that too.
Yeah, one thing I definitely want to say, on this event, definitely be careful when you come down, but it's one that you're not going to want to miss. You're going to hear some true spooky stories. I want to say this in behalf of Eufaula Canadian Tribal Town. These guys really do a good job of giving back to their community. They do all kinds of events. They do language classes. They do church singing and arts and crafts, these storytellings, spelling bees, you name it. They're doing it. They're giving it back to the community and to the Muskogee Creek people in that area. And they do a phenomenal job. So if you guys can, go down there and support them. They're struggling. They're having a hard time, but, yet they still have that love in their heart for their Indian folks. So, come down, support them. It's a good event. Any of their events that they do down there, they're outstanding. So I'll say that much about them. And, again, if you really want to get spooked, you're not going to want to miss this one.
Yeah, for sure. I know we are going to be in, is it Ponca Nation?
Oh, yes.
Towards the end.
That, people will say, why do I need to go to each one of these events? Each one of these events are different. And I will say that every tribe has their own unique stories. We've already done Hominy, we've already done Pawnee, and you never hear a repeat of a story whatsoever. Each tribe has their own set of stories. And each one of these, I have to say, you got to come and hear these. Ponca Nation's one of them. Poncas, they've got all kind of stories. If you're into cryptids, that's the place you're going to want to be. I invite all Bigfoot researchers and hunters to come there. If you truly think you're a hunter or whatever, come on down. You're going to learn something, from these Ponca people about that Bigfoot. They have a renowned Pete Buffalo Head. He's number one guy when it comes to Bigfoot down in that area. He's going to be there as well. So again, if you're interested in those type of things, dogmen, jack-o'-lanterns, you're going to want to come to hear these Ponca Nation stories. They even have stories about DW, and their story of DW is different than anybody else's. So again, each one of these tribes, they have their own set of stories. If you want to hear these kind, definitely you're going to want to put that on your calendar.
I'll miss them. I'll miss the Eufaula and the Ponca one.
Man, I know. I'm trying to talk Russell out of his other duties, man. I'm like, come on, man, you cannot miss this. Because I'm telling you, man, I am telling you, if as you can hear my voice right now, you do not want to miss Eufaula.
Yeah,
no doubt.
At both of those places, Eufaula and at Ponca,
yeah, too.
Even at Okmulgee, we've had experiences at these events, and again, these are all different areas. But if you can make them all, you're gonna get. It's gonna be worth traveling and getting to see these different tribes do what they do best, and that is tell their stories, and they're awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you come to our event before and you're in a chat, let us know you're there right now in the chat. But for real, come to these events. They're all different, and every storyteller is different too, from personal experiences to stories they've heard. And sucks. I'm gonna miss Eufaula and Ponca Nation because I know, man, Ponca's scary. Like just growing up around there, like going there, driving back home at night, it was like it's real like eerie to me. But I'll be commentating football, so go follow Lone TP Productions. Check me out there.
Yeah, Russell's everywhere. Russell's literally everywhere. It's like, Russell, what you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going down over here. I got this rap battle thing I got to do. You know, I got this, I got that. I'm like, dang, he's everywhere.
Golly.
He's a man of the people, though. Podfather.
Let's see. Let's get back to. Oh, we have the Paulding Light here. It's a tourist attraction. But what's the Paulding Light? Celia, you ever heard of that, Chris? Paulding.
It's Spalding without the S.
Oh, for real?
No, I have no idea. No.
Celia, let us know what that is. Oh crap. All the time, but have control on them. I only listen when I want. Sometimes they try interfere a lot. Oh, I guess it's about the LPs.
Oh, well, yeah.
Love listening to these old tales. Daniel Ross. Stephen, between Shawnee and Seminole, at Deer Clan. Earlsboro, north of Seminole. Where can I find a tour list so I can find something near me? I would come to them all if I could. Carne asada taco. So if you go to our Facebook page or our Instagram, Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation, we have like a tour schedule. I got to update it because there's one that we're not even going to go to in Bigsby.
Yeah, we had to cancel. That's me on that one. I had to move some things around and it just didn't work.
But
and we've got 2 other events that we need to add on there.
Yeah.
We're gonna add. Okay, so we're adding more. I'm gonna get those dates, times, hopefully, because everybody keeps asking about the times, and I just don't know the times. So I'll get the dates. I'll get the times. I'll make a flyer. I'll update it. But throughout October, I mean, pretty much every weekend we have a live event going on. But if you go to our Facebook page, Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation, like it, follow it. I'll probably even throw up the flyer at the end of our videos, or even before our videos on YouTube as well, just so everybody can see where we're going to be at November. Think we have any November?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, November as well. So,
and this is one thing too. I guess I just wanted to say is this isn't, we are Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation. We all 3 belong to different nations, and we have different nations flowing in our bodies, blood flowing in our bodies. Non-natives are welcome to come.
Yeah.
This is family friendly. This is an everyone event. I heard a lot of things when I've been down to different states, and I've even in my jobs that I've worked, I've had people say, "Oh, you're native, you're Indian. I didn't even know you guys are around. I thought you guys are still living in teepees." So I've had those things said to me in my life. I'm a younger dude. Like, I'm younger. I think I'm the youngest guy here. And we're still here. We're still telling our stories. We're still, a lot of people are still living lifestyle traditionally. And to come to one of our events, it's an event for everyone. You'll get to see elders, speaking of things that you may experience in your own culture. If you're Irish, I've seen different comments on our TikTok videos about Irish people talking about different water monsters they have. Like you got the Loch Ness Monster. I've heard people in our comments talk about that. But these events are not solely for natives. We encourage, we want to share native knowledge, but this is for everyone. Because you could relate to what something's going on in your neck of the woods. So we just encourage everyone. This is an everyone's welcome. We want as many people to come as possible.
Yep. I just want to say this too. First of all, Yehola, he's our official elder. So
the young elder, baby.
He can't say he's young no more.
So he's older than all of us.
I know.
I'm the young elder.
He's older than everybody.
God.
Here, so
he's ancient.
Well, he don't need to be known. God. But no, I was wanting to also, just kind of add, I know everybody's been asking and wanting and begging and, trying to, hook us into telling some LP stories. So I got one for you right now.
Ooh.
He's dropping the bomb on us.
Anyway,
Get in here.
I want you guys to listen to this. It's not long. It's very short. As a matter of fact, it's not really a story. It's what do you call it? A thing to know. And so, I'm going to share this with you guys. And any of you guys that are native out there, I'm going to expect you guys to give back. That's the old Indian way. I'm going to give you one. You give us one. So at this time, I'm going to tell this. If everybody's wanting to hear it, or we got people in this room?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they want to hear it.
They say the surefire sign of seeing little people down here in Oklahoma amongst the 39 tribes is when you see these little dust devils. You see them go across a field or down a road. They say that's a surefire little LP, I'll say. And, they always say, recognize that LP, when you see him. And he'll bless you with good luck or other things that you might need at that time. Maybe you got someone sick that you might ask that dust devil to help them in that good way. Or maybe, somebody's down on their luck that in your family. You ask them to go help them. If you recognize them, they will help you in that good way. And that is my little short one for you. Aho and Mado.
There you go, right there. Yeah, I know. That's one thing. That's one thing that Russell and I've been in every live stream. It's just it just makes it easier to Chris is a busy man during the week and we can catch him on a Sunday. But Russell and I have all the time we see people wanting to hear LP stories. Chris, we may have you repeat that because we got people coming in and out. I see it here in the chat. We have people coming in and out, but we may have you repeat that at towards the end. But that's one thing that we're gonna drop that. That's coming. I know Russell's had some experiences. I know Chris has had a lot of experiences, and I've had my dealings as well, and I've heard stories and different things. But that LP episode, it's coming. We promise you, it's coming.
Did anybody send a story?
Oh, no, yeah, I don't know.
That chat's blowing up though on my end.
Come on, guys, I gave you one.
Cam Miko, hi. I'm still in the back. Megan Hurst, hey guys, how's it going? Oh no, I lost it. Oh, how you doing, Megan? Four bagger, what part of Oklahoma y'all from? I'm originally from Pawnee.
Tahlequah.
Okmulgee.
Brown Dwarf. Oh, greetings and cheers. How's it going, Brown Dwarf 420? Dolores Small W. Old Indian Way. My little brother seen one behind our house, and we lived in Red Rock by a river.
Ooh, there we go.
No.
There we go.
Again, if you're from overseas, not native, like Mr. Yehola said, share your stories because we know you guys got some too. Even come to these events. I know you got plenty of time to make a flight to come over here to Oklahoma. I definitely will make it worth your while. If you come across the waters, I will definitely give you a paranormal activity event special for you if you let me know you're coming from across the waters. All these tribes, like I said, they've got things, and those things are real. So again, you come visit us. We're gonna roll out the red carpet for you.
Mm-hmm.
Aho and Mado.
Yes. Ponka Baby Girl 23. Hello. How's it going? Osceola 13.
Shona Bashia?
Shona Besha? I don't know. I
What's
might be butchering that.
Yeah. Go ahead and help us. What was the name on that one more time? The person's name?
Osceola 13.
Yeah, if you could help us out with that.
Megan Hurst, them LPs come out when you run in the dark.
Oh, I can't see.
Dang, Chris's old eyes can't see that. Nah.
What?
Again, I want to hear some more your guys' story. I gave you guys one. Let's hear one.
Mm-hmm.
Ponka Baby Girl, hey Chris.
Hey, what's going on?
Megan Hurst, in it, Dad. Oh. You guys know Megan Hurst?
Megan Hurst, are you talking to your dad in the chat, or are you talking? Okay, because I don't think my daughter's like really young, so I don't. I'm not, Chris,
It's just that unknown one that you got. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
No. That name sounds familiar to me.
What, Megan Hurst?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said them LPs come out when you run in the dark. In it, Dad?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Punker Baby said their phone's acting up.
Acting up.
That's because of those
Ooh,
LPs.
I know, yeah.
They're chasing you now.
Brown Dwarf, sweet.
Guys, and this is one thing, too. If you are from out of state or if you're from, very far away, like I said, we got 3 dates in a row. If you need help, with, locating him, because I think, like I said, we're in Tulsa, Eufaula, and Omogi. They're all, if you can find somewhere all in a century located, you can come to all 3 events.
Yeah.
It's possible. So if you're out of state, like I said, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, come on down and let us know. Let us know, hey, I traveled from this far away. We'll give you a special shout out, and like I said, Chris has always got something lined up for everybody. So.
Yep.
Thanks for the roses, Kateri. I think she sent us some ice cream, too, on here.
Hey.
Thank you.
Send us some stuff,
Yeah,
y'all.
send us gifts or whatever. That's cool. Carne asada. I love that bit of folklore. Celtic and British lore says something familiar. Osceola 13. I sent you guys a story on Skoden Cinema. Tyler, that's you.
Oh my
Send us
gosh.
that story.
He's not. Yeah, that's TikTokless Tyler. Hey, send that to unsolvedreservationmysteries@gmail.com.
Or if you have us on Instagram, Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation, just send it there if you're following us on Instagram.
Yeah.
and
Russell checks that all the time.
Rossio 2021. Any stories about sea creatures?
Chris, do we want to go in hard real quick, or you want to old Indian ways right here?
Yeah, we can definitely. I know we did an episode over water monsters before, but there's some water monsters that we didn't also put on there that some of these tribes believe in. Especially Muskogee Creeks. The thing I liked about this is you got a lot of other cultures that believe in these sea monsters. And what you call sea monsters, or what those old timers would call sea monsters, today we know they actually have a name. This one, they basically refer to it as a man eater, and anyway, they say this creature has its own spirit, and if you go across his territory, which is that big water, and you don't give an offering, sooner or later he's going to get you on your travels. And the thing that they talk about, it's actually a great white shark, and everybody knows that those are for real.
Yeah.
And they used to talk to those things, before they would travel. Now, hearing that, those Hawaiian people also have stories about that, and also those other what do they call them? Those Maori people.
Maui.
Yeah, they also have stories like that they believe that those sharks have its own spirit. And there's a lot of cultures that live by the ocean that would have stories very similar to that. They, of course, they had call them different names, but we all know them as the great white shark. And so, again, that's real. That ain't no made up. There ain't no mythology. There ain't no, they even have stories of in World War II when those ships would go down, in the big ocean. Those men would be floating in that water. They would say, especially old Muskogee creeks that were in that World War I or World War II, their ship got sunk, and they were in those waters, and they knew about that great white spirit, and they would talk to it. They would sing its song, and they would also sing a song of protection, and they would say when they were done that these other entities would come and protect them from those great white sharks, and those entities that they called are dolphins.
Oh.
And everybody knows that's the enemy
Mm-hmm.
of the great white shark. And they would say those dolphins would be so friendly to them, they would let them ride them, till, a ship came and rescued them. And so those old creeks, they would tell those stories like that, about those spirits, the good ones and the bad ones. And they knew how to talk to both during that time. And, you had a lot of stories like that. So, again, those are old stories that I don't know, I know growing up, I used to love hearing those war stories like that.
I like that story.
That's great.
That's really cool.
Dolores, was it Dolores Small W? Thank you for that. We appreciate the gift.
I was gonna say, Chris, when we talked about he was talking about we did a water monster episode back in June, I believe, and it's on our Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, it's everywhere. But we were talking about wasn't you told a story about there was like some sort of like lion in the water, that would come up and take men down, and they didn't really understand what it was, like almost a saber tooth.
Yeah, a lot of tribes, they call it underwater panther.
Yeah, that was it.
But again, if you look at history and you study these big cats, like the Bengal tiger, he hunts in the water. He's known to jump out of that river and take those fishermen off the boats. And that's the same exact story that those old Indians used to say on those canoes when they would fish those rivers. They would go down these old rivers, and they said, you go to a certain spot or close to shore, that underwater panther would jump out of that water and take you under. You'd never be seen again. So, we have a whole lot of water monsters that are actually real. People always say, "Oh, that's mythology. That's just a story." But we all know, even like some of these big snakes that they talk about. We know that there are snakes out there that devour people. And so, again, I know a lot of people across the waters. They've got stories too, just like that. And I know sometimes we joke about, getting eaten by a big snake, but, again, you have to remember those times. Those were old ways. So, anyway, I just wanted to say that much. But,
if everybody's on TikTok, I'm sure everybody's seen a giant there's a video floating around in a river somewhere, and there's a huge snake, like, going underneath a tree or something in the water. And Chris posted that on his Instagram, and I went and looked it up on TikTok. And I think the user is very scary. It's at very scary, I think, but it's this giant, boa or something. It's huge. Like, it's something that, like, I've never seen before. And it just keeps going and going and going into this hole, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, in the creek or whatever, wherever it's at. Do you think that's real?
I would believe that
Yeah.
That's real because, again, there's certain parts of the world that, humans don't really go down.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these things, they get huge if they're not bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes humans are the ultimate predator in a lot of these areas.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we're around, we ruin everything. So, maybe this thing is real, or... maybe it is, how'd they say it, cinematography? But,
CGI?
Yeah, it might be that, but, again, I do know there are huge snakes out there. There's anacondas, super huge, I wouldn't mess with them. So, and I'm 6'3", so, again, I know there's big animals out there that we don't even know of.
I want to believe. I'd say it's real. It looks real and very intimidating, and it's just going across the camera. It's like, oh god!
Just imagine that thing, man. Just imagine you're back in the day, and you're just, I guess there's still people see, those big snakes today, but just imagine just no technology, no cars, nothing. And you're just in a canoe, and you're, or you're you're on the water bank, and all of a sudden you see this snake come out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way. I mean, you're walking or you're riding, a horse, or in our day, where we're at here. Just imagine that, man. That would be wicked.
Yeah, we seen a video about it was on TikTok, but it was this little bitty area where kind of the ocean runs into, and there were two giant whales above on the ocean, and they're like doing their whale scream or whatever. And it sounded eerie, like the people were catching it. They were all around these whales, and these whales were just like, not like screaming in pain, but they're just doing what they do, like the whale call, I guess. But we watched it, and I was like, man, imagine like we didn't know what whales were. We didn't have cameras like back in the day, and you run up on this, and you're like, what is that? And you see these two giant creatures making this call just right in front of you, and then you have to go back and tell people like, man, I saw this, like I don't know what it was. And then like, I mean, like it just kind of brought me back. This podcast makes me think about it all the time, like seeing stuff like back in the day. It's like explaining stuff like that. And we watched Prey Wednesday, and what made me remind me of that too was when she brought that head back, and it's like telling the story of that head to your people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's we go back to like when we talked about star people, and they basically called it canoes, Yeah, I've heard that a lot of times too, with when they say, oh, they came down in a golden canoe, or they came down in a in a metal, silver, canoe, and things of that nature. But just going back to of people describing things, when the mountain gorilla, back forever ago, the mountain gorilla is a fairly new discovery here in the last 60, 70 years.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And they were describing this gorilla or this beast, as this monster, in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you find out that it's just a 6 foot, 6'5", 7 foot tall. When it stands up, or like 1,000-pound animal, basically. That's just crazy. The discoveries. You see fish all the time. All these new fluorescent fish, or these see-through fish that they're going down to the bottom of these trenches and in the ocean. But I saw a video of someone basically saying that they saw a megalodon, and we talked about that in previous streams. I 100%, and I'm going to die on this hill that there's a megalodon. I believe it's real, because with the Mariana Trench being so deep, and I've mentioned before that the sharks, people have these transmitters on these sharks, and these sharks are disappearing in the Mariana Trench, and then they're showing up, across the Atlantic Ocean 2 days later. The only thing I can think of is megalodon has got those sharks. So you just never know what's out there. It's crazy.
Man.
Even they got things like giant squids out
Mm-hmm.
there. Those are
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yep.
Those aren't made up. They found them. Sometimes they wash up on shore. But I wanted to say just a little bit about what was that, Wednesday, when we went and seen that Prey.
Yeah.
At the theater. Man, I really have to say that was like a totally different movie than watching it on your phone or watching it at the house on your TV. Because, of course, I got a little bitty TV at home. It's not much bigger than that screen that we're looking at right now. And so when I seen that on that huge of a screen, it was almost like a whole different movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw things in there that, I didn't see, watching it. And I watched it about five or six times before I even seen it at the theaters. And so, I wish they would allow everybody to see that movie on big screen, because to me it's just better that way. Not to mention all that popcorn that I devoured. So.
God, no, it's getting hungry over here
I
too.
had that butter just dripping from my jaw like that.
You got that butter beard, huh? Dang, you was greasy all the time, huh?
Lord, I was sitting there all shiny too, boy, just looking like that.
Slippery.
Oiled down
Sliding off
too.
that seat. Couldn't hold in that seat.
Dang, y'all was wondering why Chris was holding on the seat like this. Dang, he was like old down baby, man.
There's a lot of people in there. I'm glad a lot of people showed up.
I did too.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I had heard all the controversy just the day before, so I wasn't really expecting too many people to show up to that showing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about?
No, what?
Well, that the one that plays the brother.
Oh, I heard. Yeah.
He's not really native.
Yeah, they're looking into it, I guess.
And
yeah,
everybody was really dogging him, but again, I mean, he still made the Comanche people look good.
Yeah.
So I at least look at it that way instead of just dogging everything. I went and supported that movie regardless because I still consider it an Indian movie, but I know some people don't look at it that way, and that's okay too. But as far as I go, I do know there's natives in that movie, and at least they try to put forth a good effort, and you can't help but walk out of there feeling good to be native. So I mean, whether that guy's native or non-native, I don't know, but I still enjoyed that movie, and I really had a good time, and I just wish they would allow everybody to see it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you enjoyed Prey, give us a 2 in the chat.
One thing is, Channel 6 was there. They should have had us there. They should have called upon us to get our input about the movie, but no.
They probably interviewing those old knuckleheads laying outside.
Yeah, I had the homeless people out there like, hey, what'd you think of the movie? It's like, man, I was just here for free popcorn.
So contact Channel 6 and tell them that they should have interviewed us before the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, if you liked Prey, put a 2 in the chat, and hit those like buttons. We appreciate the gifts too, everything that, you gift us here, if you feel so, inclined to give us, a gift, we appreciate that because we're trying to get merch. We're in the process. Really, Russell, he's helping us out on that. He's in the process of getting merch and finding a vendor for us and someone who we all agree with, and and every bit of thing that y'all help us out with, man, it goes to the merch. And because like I said, he's got some pretty wicked ideas. He sent us some designs and we all kind of signed off on it. Y'all are gonna love it, when it comes to it. But anything that y'all send us, like I said, it goes to the merch. It goes to helps us out with our events, and we appreciate everything too. And hit the like buttons. I want to see all those hearts going up. And like I said, if you love Prey, get 2 in the chat for us.
Oh, we got what's that, origami?
Dang, I don't know what that was.
Origami, thank you for that. Sam Joward said, do y'all have any stories around Ada or Choctaw stories?
Man, Chris, this is one thing. Like I said, I'm not real, the southern part, I'm Choctaw, Chickasaw. Man, if we could ever get an event down there and get some of those stories.
Yeah, in Choctaw country, there's several places to go. Especially, I can't remember those, like around Durant, they have, I don't know, they call it something, is it Kaimichi Mountains or something like that?
Oh, yeah, that's Kaimichi Mountains. That's over by Honobia. I know they got...
Yeah, they got stuff like that in there. They got all kinds of stories down that way. Even in the Ada, they have the town itself has several haunted places. They even have old, I think it's I want to say Chickasaw place there. Might be Choctaw, I don't know. One of the two. They had an old field, old O-L-D. I know you guys probably can't understand my verbiage, but old field where they had a battle there. And I'm trying to think of the actual story, but make a long story short, they battled it out with someone in that area, or something, I guess I should say. They battled it out with something huge in that area. And they say, even to this day, they never defeated it. They didn't kill it. They just kind of ran it off. And they say, from that battle, you can still hear it even to this day.
Whoa.
I got one. This involves a relative, an ancestor, really. I guess he's been in a few books. His name's Jackson Lewis, and growing up, I was real curious. My grandpa was real fascinated with him, and he would tell stories about how they would Choctaw would always contact Jackson Lewis, because he was real powerful. He knew things, knew a lot of things, and Choctaw would always send somebody for him. And he'd be gone for months. I think he was even gone. Like the longest time was for a year, to basically help them out and help their people out with things and that was a story. That's the only thing that I really know about Choctaw was that basically that they sent for him and that he showed them things and helped them out when they were in dire need of some medicine. So,
well,
I don't know where their capital is, where their headquarters are. Is that Tishomingo or what is that?
I'd be lying if I told you.
Well, anyway, wherever their capital is, I know it's down that way somewhere. The Choctaw capital. They say that administrative building there is super haunted because it used to be a boarding school of some sort, and they're always talking about how the people that still work there have a lot of issues. I've been invited several times, but I haven't made a chance down there to do an investigation. I've been there, I just haven't done an investigation, but I'm always open. If you guys know anybody, let me in now. I got a little bit more time, so especially in November. So if you guys know anybody, I'm willing to come down, check it out.
Yeah, you better be sending me an invite too, because I'd love to. Because like I said, I'm so curious on Choctaw Chickasaw. I just don't really know a lot of stuff. Maybe it's because I'm from the northeast of Oklahoma. But yeah, that's real interesting. If you, like I said, if you know any stories, of those nations, send them to us. Unsolved Reservation Mysteries at gmail.com, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
I will also say this too. Choctaws have a cultural center or museum. I don't know what you call it down there. They just opened it up about, I think, last year or year before. Man, if you haven't seen that place, go check it out. I mean, this is just me. No offense to nobody. But, they got some mannequins in there so realistic. I sat there for at least 30 minutes to see if it would move, because it looks that real. I posted some of those pictures on my Facebook when I was down there for a visit. Yeah, but, the rest of the museum, they got some good exhibits, well done. I'll have to say whoever was in charge of, organizing and planning that, man, you really did a good job. So, they have this one area where it's, I don't know what you call it, animation. Mm-hmm. Man, that place is cool. And I was like a little kid, boy. I didn't want to leave that. I was kicking and screaming when it was time to go. But anyway, it was pretty cool place to see. But, it does go over a lot of history. And I don't know, it has weird vibes there. I'll just say that much.
Whoa. Let's see, Megan Hurst said, I was 16 years old and I was running in the dark and I know I wasn't supposed to. And sure enough, I was tripped. And after that, I never ran again. Well, Booze Paws, hey, Russell, what's up? I think that's Kateri. Thank you for the coins, Kateri. Ponka Baby Girl, it's good. Pretty Feathers, dang did Chris dirty with the eyes?
God, I know.
LOL.
Because I was like, hey, Chris, can you see that? He goes, man, my eyes.
Oh. Old eyes.
Got them
Tyler Randall eyes.
Hey, shout out to Tyler Randall. He is currently sick. We're thinking about in prayers. You know, we hope he makes a quick recovery. You know, we're not sure what it is. He just is just not feeling too awesome.
Probably the flu.
Yeah,
I guess. Be. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We did an episode today and he wasn't here for it. But send your prayers to Tyler Randall, a member of Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation.
Some of you guys might know him as Deuce Randall.
Oh, from the last live.
Yeah, if you were here for the last live, that was hilarious. yeah, and also too, every single live that we do, it ends up on YouTube. You may see yourself in the comments. You just never know, rolling across the screen. So check that out too as well. YouTube, Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation.
Ponka baby girl, it's going good. I hope y'all doing good. Oh, our phone must still be tripping out. Megan Hirsch, yes, my dad is in the chat. I'm sorry. LOL. Good.
Dang, I was hoping you wasn't calling anybody up here Dad. No.
Our elder over here.
It's called the young
Our
elder.
young elder.
The young elder.
YG.
Yeah, you can call me YG from now on.
Jen Olson, sending love from Florida. Thank you for tuning in from Florida.
Yeah, thank you.
Waboo's Pod, did you read my story, Russell? No, because it's like 6 pages long. No, I'm just kidding. No, not yet, because we did Skinwalker Ranch today, and we're trying to compile a lot of stories that we already have. So
yeah,
it's coming. I'll give you credit if you want. Let me know. Everybody here knows it's you, though. So Tune Rum, man, I gotta come to one. Hope I can make the Okmulgee one.
Come on down.
For real.
Yep.
Free event, free fun event. I'm assuming we'll have vendors and food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt.
They'll even have first, second, third place prizes for the best stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, similar to what we did at Pawnee. We had the first place, second place, and third place really rocked the house, man. They had some great stories.
Megan Hurst. No, I want to hear about the DW.
Ooh.
Whoa.
You may hear some. Ponka Nation, you'll definitely hear some out there.
Like I said before, we've done a full episode on DW back in, I want to say April. Maybe, yeah, it was April or March. But we did a full episode of DW.
I just want to say this. If you really want to hear or experience DW, come to Ponka Nation, October 28th, if you dare.
For real. Mr. Miller, I know this is off subject, but what is your guys' beliefs when rattlesnakes come in your path?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, several tribes, they believe in, those snakes as, I don't know what you call it, a symbol, or what you would call it, well, I'll just say symbol, because that's the only thing I could think of negativity. A lot of tribes believe that. If you see that rattlesnake, he's telling you, that you have someone out there that may not like you that's going to do things to you. If it's in your path. Now, if you're out walking across, the prairie and you run across, that's natural. But if you're at your house, it's in your home, or it's going towards your car, or something like that, that's what I'm talking about. Or maybe you're driving down the road, and that snake crosses your path like that. They say, that's meant for you as a message. So you better go home and talk to the Creator, and make sure you're all right. That's what some tribes say. And so I have to believe that too myself, because I'm full-blood Muskogee Creek, and on those type of things we take it very serious. And that's all I got to say.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Paxton Norton, where at in Okmulgee can I find you guys, and at what time? I will be there.
It'll be at that Claude Cox Omniplex. I'm going to say around 7 o'clock. That's kind of what they did last year, right? But the thing about Oklahoma, though, we don't know when the sun's about to set right now. So later on, they'll know exactly kind of when the sun will be setting. So that's when they're going to set that time. But about dusk, I would show up. So whatever time dusk is, that's show up and definitely get you a good seat.
Let's see, Brian, my 3 kinfolks was out by Red Rock, driving the back roads at night. They stopped to go to the bathroom. One was in the back of the truck, and this guy told him he don't belong here. He said, okay, then got in the truck, and he saw other guys in the truck. Then he said, how'd you get so fast? They said, we never left the truck.
Dang.
Whoa. That's pretty creepy. Red Rock is creepy too. I remember going there a lot when I was a kid. Just being there at night. Amy 16397. Love listening to you guys. Makes me miss home.
Hey.
Haha. Well, I'm glad we can bring you a bit of home to wherever you're at, Amy. Yeah. Indian Taco.
Dang, don't even mention those, man.
Lady Day, Bigfoot in Hannah, Oklahoma.
Oh, Hannah, yeah. I actually, you know what's crazy? I haven't even delved into my 2. I guess really, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but of a mysterious house out there and a mysterious road that goes to this house, and I haven't spoke about. Hey, it happens in I guess the road going out of Hannah. I'll have to tell that story sometime. That's a podcast. That's a podcast story. Just a little teaser, I guess.
Is there anybody from DC in there?
Let's see.
Any DC people?
Megan said, if y'all are ever in OKC, we have a haunted orphanage here, and I want to go so bad.
Send me the name of that orphanage. I'd like to try to come and check it out. I go to the city pretty regularly.
Yeah, Megan, send us that name of that orphanage on here on the comment section. Midwest Hustler, Goatman.
Awesome.
I had a Goatman story on this episode coming out in a few weeks. I had a listener send that to me, and it's a good one.
No, it is. It was pretty crazy, kind of real eerie.
Is he asking for a Goatman story?
He just said Goatman ? So if you want a story, let us know. Or if you got a story, put it on here if you can. We don't really know what you...
I got one, but I just want to make sure. If he was asking for one, I got one.
Are you asking for one?
Oh, yeah.
But if he's just saying, Goatman, yeah. I said, Goatman, yeah.
Dang, Chris, you start hearing those hoof.
Let us know, Midwest Hustler. We got one for you. Let's see... Raw CO, Meg is real. How'd it die, but blue whales still roam? I think Megalodon just kind of, well, supposedly, right? It just couldn't. I forgot how the story goes about how it died off, but being the ultimate predator was like working against it. I guess they were trying to say, but I honestly think it's still out there too. There's got to be a few or one or whatever.
Yeah, there's a breeding population out there somewhere.
Because we have oceans that haven't even been discovered. Like, there's only, 5% of it discovered?
Oh, let me piggyback on. Don't mean to cut you off here, but so when we did some cavern caves when I was in Eureka Springs, and they said that every body of water is basically can be connected at some point. Because due to the caves, there's caves underground all over the place, and water can technically be connected through these caves. So that might be where they kind of went into cave, and you never know. I mean, you truly just never know.
A lot of caves out there too. There's just so much stuff out there that I don't know. I think it's being hidden from us too. That's just me though.
Hey, let me ask a quick question for the chat, guys. Put in your favorite conspiracy theory in the chat or
Let us know
in the comments.
What
I want to
you're
see
thinking about conspiracies. Brown Dwarf. I post Bigfoot and other cryptid UFO stuff on my channel. Let us know your channel. Is it Brown_Dwarf 420? We'd love to check it out. Deer Clan greasy fry bread.
Oh man.
Midwest. Oh, everybody's saying 2. What'd you say for 2? Number 2?
If you like to pray.
Oh, if you like to pray, everybody loved it. All these number 2s down here.
You said conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
My conspiracy theory is McDonald's French fries aren't really French fries.
Whoa. Okay.
They're too
No, you being
addictive.
serious?
They're too addictive. No.
Oh god.
When they're fresh, they're amazing.
Dude, the best.
I ask for fresh all the time whenever I get McDonald's fries.
See, when I was in high school, I used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school for like 2 years, and you were the person I hated the most. They're like,
Yep.
Fresh, please. What do you mean fresh? They're fresh right now.
Nope. I know they've been sitting there for 20 minutes.
And you've touched them a little bit. You're like, here you go. God, I hated that too, man. I remember being like,
I get my nuggets fresh and my fries fresh.
hey, just hey,
That guy.
Be like, hey man, just come back here and make it yourself.
I'll put 40 in there then.
You know they did some nasty stuff to you.
Man, I'll tell you, never mind. I'm not even going to go into those stories. I could tell stories on that, man. I'm not going to.
More than a mascot. When is your next investigation and where? So we'll be at Porham, Oklahoma on October 8th. And
you better just come down and check it out because we might just do that.
Yep.
After that is, what's after that, Chris?
That you said you had one that's going to be filled on the 18th.
Yeah, I'm still working.
Okay, we're still working on that. So most definitely October 8th, Porham, Oklahoma for the powwow. Be there and come say hi, take pics with us, tell us a scary story. We'll even record you telling a scary story, and then we can put it on our page or wherever. So yeah, Porham, Oklahoma, October 8th. Keep that in your calendar.
Chris, do you know what time that's starting? Or are you still working on that? What time?
Oh, Porham, they start at 2:00.
Okay.
2 p.m.
And we'll probably be there probably a little bit after that, I'm assuming. Or do you want? I guess we'll figure it out. It's 2 p.m.
Yeah, you guys get there early.
7.
God.
Dang! So what to make Tyler a hostage? We'll have to tape him down.
Deucin'. ZCWXW, have y'all visited Shawnee at all? I've been there, but I haven't done anything.
The only thing I've done is
wise.
I investigated the Buffalo Wild Wings.
God.
Dang, the bathroom.
Oh God! Yeah, haunted in there. The spirits.
I've been there at the Potawatomi Citizen Band Potawatomi and the Absentee Shawnee Complex, and I will say both of them are very haunted.
Hot
Bra 26. That's my lady.
Can't wait to see the merch. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. I'm working on having somebody treat us fair. I don't know. There's a lot of
rigmarole.
There's a lot of people that say, yeah, I'll do it, and then they won't do it. Or it's like, yeah, let's do it, but it's like an outrageous number where I have to charge everybody like $50 a shirt or $60 a shirt. It's like, I want to make it affordable, but it's crazy. I'm working on all that. Casper, the 3 Girl Scouts from Locust Grove, Spring Creek.
Man, yeah, I know people have been asking about that one, and I know we all kind of, you know, my grandma's from that area, and you know she's gone now, but you know there's things that there's still people alive on that, and it's just a touchy subject, I guess, for a lot of people in that area, you know, but eventually, right, Chris, we're going to hit that eventually, maybe 10 years from now.
We're thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We try to be real careful about everything we do. It's not just like, oh, we just show up and then we start going. But, I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into what we do and then making this content for everybody and putting the time in and the effort and everything that we have goes into these episodes for everybody. So, I'd say it's coming. We're trying to go through it carefully because there's a lot of, like Yola said, a lot of people are still alive from it. A lot of things are still ongoing. And just don't want to disrespect it in any kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
More than a mascot. I ended up being at Pawnee for your event. Great stories were told. Thanks for coming to this. I remember she said she probably could make it, couldn't make it, but
Who is it?
More than a mascot is the username.
We need your government. No, I'm just playing. What's your first, last name, social security number? No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks for coming, though. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Pawnee was great. It was a great turnout, great food, great stories. Some great prize money was given out. We hope to do it again in the future.
That cake was pretty awesome, but I didn't even get one.
I didn't get it either.
It was gone. We were in line, and there was like 4 pieces left. I said, dang, how many slices y'all cut out?
Man. Oh, I know I wanted some too, but
Dang, we barely got fry bread.
bring it home and freeze it.
Dang, we barely almost got fry bread. They was running out of fry bread. So many people's in there.
Let's see. Dear Clan, Muskogee Nation. Is Muskogee Nation going to have another Bigfoot storytelling and gathering at Omniplex? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it... Last year was Bigfoot, correct? And this year is just going to be...
Well, they called it Honka Stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's all thrown in there all
Yeah.
together.
Dear Clan, yes. We'll be at Okmulgee on October 22nd.
Yeah, Saturday.
We even had him, the star himself, show up later that night.
He was there.
He took pictures with everybody. So, you want to take pictures with him? Come on down. You got to be there. You don't want to miss this one.
Megan Hurst. Have y'all ever watched that show, Mountain Monsters? Yes.
Boy, them guys goofy as all get
Those
out.
guys are crazy.
Which one is that?
That's the hillbilly dudes that barely be walking. Like they got wheel. Like one dude can barely walk, and he's like they're all like kind of heavy set short guys,
God.
beards.
I think I've seen it.
They did one episode where I still have not seen it yet. I can't find it anywhere, but my friend on Snapchat was sending me videos because it came on TV, and they're doing like I think it was a Cherokee naming ceremony.
God.
Because they were hunting some sort of entity, and they were trying to get protection while they go hunt this thing. And so I don't know if they're in a teepee or not. I still can't find it, but they're in somewhere. There's a fire going, and there's paint involved, and they're painting their faces, and there are like feathers involved, and they're just like wiping each other with ash. I don't know. It was really weird, and it was funny too, because they were just saying this. There's one guy in there that's very loud, and he talks like he overtalks everybody. And he's like very loud, and he was saying like, "I'm Cherokee. This is my heritage and culture," and he was like just going off on like all the ceremony stuff that I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not Cherokee or anything, so. But he was just showing it all on TV, and they were in night vision mode. And I mean, it went on for like 10 minutes. And then finally after that, they went out and started hunting this, whatever they were hunting. I think it was like a Wendigo in some mountain area. I don't know, but they were doing all kind of stuff for TV.
Yeah, who knows, man? We may never know.
That reminds me, if you want Indian name, come to Purim, Oklahoma for $50. We'll hook you up. Nah, no, I'm just teasing.
But Mountain Monsters, it's entertaining. I don't know if it's. I think a lot of stuff is staged on it. It could be real, but when it comes to TV, I'm just like, I don't know.
Everybody freaks out about a ghost or something. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that just happens to get your attention, and I mean, it's cool. It's like a movie, but I don't know. I just don't know how much I can trust Mountain Monsters. It's entertaining. I like to watch it, but Chris, you have to check it out.
Tishomingo is Chickasaw Nation's capital.
Oh,
Tishomingo.
okay.
Yeah, you're right, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Mado for that.
So Tishomingo's the capital?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess somebody sent us also to Lewinsky. I think I'm saying that wrong, but she is it she? Did we figure? Okay, yeah, she sent us a email of a shadow person experience she's had. So that's the next comment.
Okay. And then thank you, Lewinsky, for that. We'll check it out. CTM buyer. We have lots of those here in Oklahoma. I don't know what that is. Remind me what you're talking about. ZCWXW. We're exploring the abandoned middle school down in Shawnee at 12:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Ooh.
It's rumored to be to be really haunted. Hey, if you're going live or anything, tell us where to follow you at or check that out.
Or tag us on it.
Yeah, tag us on that.
Also, too, if you got any videos, send it to us.
Yes. Sam Joward, Choctaw headquarters are in Durant.
Oh, okay.
Maddie Bear, Cato, Carne Asada Taco. The Young Elder is a badass nickname.
Appreciate that.
Gun Lady and Omen. More Than a Mascot. Is there belief associated with coyotes? 2 crossed the road in front of us this morning while driving home. I've not heard anything myself growing up.
I haven't heard anything. I know coyotes are usually, dogman or werewolf, whatever you want to call it. Those are associated with that. Chris, you may have something. I haven't heard anything though.
Yeah, the coyote is also a symbol too, and most people believe, or most tribes believe, it's a no good symbol. It means that someone is up to no good that's against you, and that you're getting ready to experience some not so good things, but it's not so good things that are brought upon you, if that makes sense to you.
Well, that actually, I should say that. Like I said, I haven't heard anything, regarding that, but we did have a lot of coyote things, and like I said, I've told this in a prior episode. I think it's already posted that we dealt with some some medicine against us and things of that nature growing up, and then we did hear a lot of coyotes. Now I think about it growing up, so that like I said, that does check out. I just didn't think about that. I guess maybe because I hadn't heard anything.
Kamikaze. I lived in D.C. When you're asking about if anybody's in D.C.
I was just curious, so if we had any people from D.C. area. So I do have a few stories from that way. I even got a Goat Man story from up that way. So that's why I was asking if y'all wanted to hear it, but I guess nobody wanted to hear it because we didn't get no response.
If you want to hear a Goat Man story, put it in the chat.
Put a 3 in the chat.
I need 5 likes.
Give us hearts to hit 6K, and we'll tell that story.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're at 5.2K right now. More than a mascot. Live in PA. Steven, Iowa here. Amy, I seen a gargoyle sitting on a train track in Red Rock one time.
Dang.
I heard several stories like that, around that Red Rock area, especially that railroad track, the one that's going into the actual town of Red Rock. So I've heard stories like that before, but I'd love to hear yours. So if you can, send it to us. Aho.
Ashley Jean, thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. Let's see. Megan Hurst, I don't know the name, but it's on the 23rd towards Spencer. Sherry Lynn.
If you want to hear a Goatman story, let's get up to 6K.
We're almost there, halfway there. Sherry Lynn, Sequoia County, Oklahoma, if you crave the Sasquatch. Lewinsky, mermaids.
Ooh. Oh, I know Chris got. Chris,
those mermaids, especially up towards Alaska, and even around the what is it, East Coast, they have stories of mermaids, mermaid entities, and those Alaskan natives, they have a lot of stories about those mermaids. They believe they're can be good and bad. So you got some that are good, some that are bad. The basics of those things, that they're a water spirit, and you can call upon it to do good things or bad things. But there are several stories from those what you would call canoe tribes, the ones that use the canoes still today, and so I think those are phenomenal stories if you ever get a chance to hear them. I can't think of one specifically right now, but I do know all those tribes have them.
Lewinsky mermaids. There you go. We'll probably do an episode on that. I just have to look more into it. Dista Dada in Seminole County, Oklahoma. LPs used to walk on my grandpa's roof and move stuff around.
That surprised me.
Anichimane reptilians. I guess for your conspiracy.
Yeah. So like I said, put in the chat if you know what your favorite conspiracy is, and we're just curious because we may talk about them sometime.
Two Wolves, what up? What's up, Two Wolves?
What's going on with you?
Deer Clan said reptilians as well. Lewinsky, it's rumored McDonald's is made out of humans. I've heard of that too. I've heard of that.
You know, hey, I'll tell y'all one thing. When I worked at McDonald's back in the early 2010s, no, before that, on the box it was basically horse and kangaroo meat for the hamburgers.
Whoa!
Just letting y'all know.
Oh my god!
Just letting you know.
That was some good horse meat.
Dang. Horse and kangaroo.
It literally said it on the box.
Oh god!
I don't know if it does now, but it did back then.
Dang. Kamikaze, where's the hurried ghost? Hurried. I don't know what that is. Let us know what that is. Kind of be more clear. TJ36, come snag.
Yikes!
Oh,
Dang,
Spooky snags. God,
greasy fry bread. Greasy.
That'll be 4 episodes for Russell right there, boy. He'll be telling all kinds of stuff. Boy. Sharma will be kicking him out by the 3rd episode. No.
Have that stick with that deal on it at the end. That
little knapsack.
That knapsack. All my stuff. Daddy of the 918.
That's
been
a
to
wild name.
Choctaw?
So I got Kiowa family in Choctaw. I got majority of my Cherokee family lives in Choctaw. I know Choctaw very well. Now, we did a ghost investigation back when I might have been early college, out in Choctaw, an abandoned barn that somebody said was haunted. I didn't see anything, but yeah, I know Choctaw very well.
Oh, Megan Hurst said, I guess the guys from Mountain Monsters, they all claim to be native, and they were chasing the woman in the woods. That's what it was. I forgot what the woman in the woods did, but I think it was like some sort of witch.
Jeep Cherokee. Come on now, Mr. Miller.
Jeep Cherokee. More than mascots, my name is Donita. What was the experience like for all of when you heard that scream during that?
Oh yeah. Dang, Chris goes, y'all, hey, chill out. It was an owl. What'd you say? You said something like that.
Yeah, to me it was just an owl. I said that. I mean, even if it was a Stegini, I mean, it's still an owl. So I said, whatever. You know, if he wants to do that, we can do that too. No,
Chris was ready to scrape.
I know. We was gonna roll right there. But
No, it was interesting because once we spoke about this on the last live, but you know, they shined a light. We kind of walked out and shined a light at the kind of at the entrance, you know, and we shined that light and we saw, you know, it was deer, but you know, do deer make that sound? Possibly, maybe. You know, it was pretty interesting though, but it was random too because it was like nobody was expecting it.
Any experience with skinwalkers? We talk about that in this episode that's going to come out in a few weeks. We just got done with Skinwalker Ranch, so we have some stories on there. Check it out in a few weeks. Everybody's putting 333
for the Goat Man play. We hit 6K.
There we go. Okay.
Do we want to go ahead and
we hit 7.6K? So Chris,
go ahead and deliver the Goat Man story.
Goat Man story.
He has to take a drink, y'all.
Yeah, let me take a drink. My mouth is getting all dried up.
Take a shot. Hold on. But when he's taking a drink, I seen a gargoyle by Henrietta, Oklahoma.
Can you go? I guess if you can fit it in this comments, tell that story real quick. I'm curious about that because I haven't heard anything about gargoyles in Henrietta, but I'm curious about that.
Kangaroo meat goes hard.
Man, it did. Man, it was new. It had a lot of nutrients in it. Nah. All right, Chris, go ahead.
All righty. This was I'm gonna say 2014. I went to Washington D.C. and for a conference, and anyway, make a long story short, you know, I met some guys that were locals. And they were telling me that just about an hour and a half away from D.C. is a little place called La Platte or something like that. Virginia, I think that's what it was called. But anyway, it was just an hour and a half away, and they invited me to come there. They were having a dance there. It was like a little powwow that they were having. They wanted me to come and eat with them and enjoy the festivities. So anyway, to make a long story short, after the conference was done, I think that was like 5 o'clock. I told them I would follow them over there, and I did. I followed them all the way over there, and I ate with them and got to hear them, their little dances, and hear their songs, because I really like to study other tribes' songs and stuff. So I always try to record or listen to other songs, because a lot of times you learn that about people from their culture, from their songs. Anyway, make a long story short, I had a good time, and it was time to go home or back to the hotel, because it was still in the middle of the conference. So anyway, I left that place, and it was I'd say probably about like 11 o'clock, and I was racing back to the hotel. Anyway, I come upon this man. This was like one of those 2-lane highways, and I come upon this guy. I saw him standing by the road, and this was at night, and my lights, were shining upon him. And anyway, he stepped out in front of the road, and anyway, he was standing in the road when I was coming upon him, and it looked like he had like shorts on, but he had super hairy legs. And I noticed his legs were bent kind of funny. How our legs are like that. His kind of went kind of at a Z. And it looked like he had black shoes on. And, I was coming upon him, and, I could tell he was a white guy. He didn't have no shirt on. When I got close enough to him, I noticed his hair, or I say it was his hair, but his hair was sticking up like two horns. And, I know, back in the day, people used to style their hair, kind of crazy. So I thought, well, maybe this guy is a hitchhiker. He's trying to catch your eye. But when I got close enough to him, I noticed he had red, shiny eyes. And as soon as I seen that, I swerved around him. And when I swerved around him, it's like he chased my car for just a little bit. But when I seen that, I floored it. So, I left him way back there. But I could see him trying to run and catch up with me. But, I was going too fast. And by that time, I came back to the hotel. I was coming into town, D.C., and it was, major highway by then, and it was crazy. So I got back to the hotel, and I was kind of freaked out. I thought, dang, that homeless guy, tried to jump out in front of my car. I could have hit him, and I was kind of thinking of that. But then I was sitting there all night kind of thinking, dang, his hair would look like horns, and his legs look weird, and anyway, the next day at the conference, I saw those guys that invited me. I went up to them and thanked them for, allowing me to participate in their ceremony or their powwow and stuff. And, I was kind of telling them the story on my way home, because they asked me, what time I got back, was I all right? And everything. I said, yeah, but I had something weird happen. So I told them the story. Anyway, they told me that little town is in, I think they call it St. George's County. And if you look that up, there are numerous stories of the Goat Man in that area. It's famous for it. They got a lot of stories. And that's what those people told me. Said, what you probably saw was that goat man that runs across in that area. So, you know, I sit there and I think about that every now and then. I thought, dang, maybe that was him because, you know, the way he had his hairstyle, it looked like he had two horns up there. But, you know, again, I can't say whether he was or he wasn't. But, you know, I definitely say that was just a definitely crazy experience because when I saw his red eyes, you know, I'm not talking about his white eyeball was red, but it was his actual eyeball that was red.
Mm-hmm.
And that really flipped me out. That's why I swerved around him and took off. But yeah, if you look it up, that St. George place, they have a lot of stories of that goat man, you know, in that area. And those people told me that that thing came from overseas and it roams that whole county. And so, anyway, that was my story of the goat man.
Dang.
There you go, guys.
Whoa.
There you go.
You actually seen it. Chris gets to see everything.
Well, he's a well-traveled man.
Let's see. So that was the goat man story. If you missed it,
YouTube
it later. Carne asada, goat man story. We just told it. Mr. Miller, call me horseman now.
Dang.
Softly brutal. Cheeseburgers still hit though.
Facts.
Hot broth, blue cap.
Shh, be quiet. That's my lady.
Oh,
She's in here wilding out.
the kamikaze, the ghost that sounded hurried. The ghost that sounded hurried.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know. Did we talk about that? Let me know, kamikaze. Sorry, I forgot. Somebody said, "What is the goat man?" Just kind of explained it.
Goat man, he's of course, like they said, he's half goat and half man. But you know, a lot of those people from Germany and Switzerland and where's the Dutch from?
Oh gosh, don't even get me lying. I was gonna say Denmark, but that don't make no sense.
Well, anyway, wherever the Dutch people are from, they have stories of him, and even the French have stories of him. You know, he was. They say he was an evil entity that he liked to play tricks on people, and he likes to chase. I guess how you say he likes to chase women with some of them, but some of those stories, you know, he just goes after humans, no matter what. He tries to eat them, and so you know, depending on what nationality you get that story from, he has different elements to him. But you know, there's a lot of cultures that believe in that goat man entity. You know, even older cultures, I think they used to call him Pan. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and again, he used to play music and to, I don't know, lead you off, you know, where you'll never be found again. You know, so all those stories that they have of this goat man entity, he usually ends up taking you off and getting rid of you. Whether he eats you or just kills you, you're never seen again.
Dang. That's the goat man. Amy, Toomba Lee, what are your res nicknames? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a. I'd have to go back to my childhood. I can't remember.
Res feet. That was Yahola's nickname.
Nah, mine was Deuce. Mine was Deuce Randall II.
Give us some res names if you got any.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us some res names.
I think I was giving mine
can,
today. The young elder.
Make sure they're good ones,
Yeah,
though.
good ones, not crazy ones. Mr. Danky Crabs, Skinwalkers, and Reptilians.
Oh yeah, but skinwalkers really aren't a conspiracy.
Yeah, those are real.
But the reptilians, yes. You know what? That's crazy that we got all these people in the chat that are talking about reptilians and that being their favorite conspiracy. That's interesting.
Megan Hurst, I'm down to go ghost hunting with y'all. Softly Brutal Giver. I don't know. Mr. Dinky Crabs, human abductions.
That's interesting. That topic is very interesting.
We're getting ready to go over that missing 411, and that's going to be part of it. So yeah, that's an episode coming down the pipe.
Might be 2 parts. We don't know.
Yeah, depending on how long. I mean, because there's 2 movies, and Hey, did y'all hear that there's going to be another missing 411 movie? It's going to be literally abductions. That's the name of it. So it's a UFO type abduction that I guess he is pinpointed, but that's coming out in October.
I wouldn't head at those sides of Oklahoma even if they pay me. Too risky. Eslo Lobo. There was a story of a skinwalker brought into Gallup Indian Medical Center 10 years or so ago. I've heard of skinwalker when I was young. I didn't know what it was at the time until I was 30. Sheenarp. I was in Dustin Road by Plainview Fire Station. I thought it was a dog until it stood up. Then it jumped and its wings came out and it flew over my car. Other people seen it that same weekend close by.
Wow, that's a gargoyle story.
That's the gargoyle story. That's crazy. One night about a month ago, Megan Garrity. One night about a month ago, I walked outside and all the dogs around were barking and whining. And where we live, there's a lot of people who talk about skinwalkers.
Where are you from? What part of the country, or if you're from Oklahoma?
Mr. Dinky Krabs. More and more, a lot of eerie stuff exists, or stuff is happening in Oklahoma in certain parts. Remind me of Skinwalker
Ranch. I think he meant.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch. Okay. Yeah, we did an episode on that today. It'll be out soon. Montauk Project. Goatman.
So that's an interesting topic in itself, because that's out of New York or New Jersey, I believe. Basically, it's a facility that they've done human animal hybrids. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago during COVID, the Senate and the House had come together on a bill to stop chimeras, and they voted it down. They basically they voted down to stop it, and that Montauk has something to do with that.
Oh, Kamikaze said the ghost that was talking on one of your lives. Oh,
dang, yeah.
It's not here. That was a special one-timer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy you remembered that.
I know. I forgot about that. That was cool, though. That was cool. The ghost showed up. It was a good ghost. Softly Brutal. Do you have any Joshua Tree CA stories? I don't know what that is.
Is that California?
Let us know. In New Zealand, we have him. I'm assuming Goatman.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Dang, that's pretty wild. Do you know any stories, or if anyone have seen it? Does it look similar to what Chris just mentioned it looked like? Let us know.
Eyes wide open. What's up? Is this Billy Goat Gruff?
Yo, that's what Chris.
What up, Billy Goat Gruff? No.
Megan Hurst runs with Ghost.
Oh, okay. That's you know what? I know Chris's is Honka. That's Chris's. Runs with Ghost, man. That's not bad right there for you, Russell.
I'm 2 ghosts. Like 2 chains. Have you heard of...
You're 2 ghost killer. Ah! Now that's
dang.
That's fitting right there.
Oh, no.
Like that, boy.
Have you heard of the Necrophonic app?
Where you speak to dead people? Is that what you're talking about? I've heard that, like, very, like, not a lot. I'd say it's very obscure, I think.
Is that one where they look at old pictures of dead people and they impose and they start
I think so.
Is that what they're talking about?
I think
know.
so.
I've heard a lot about that, and I hear people really don't like that. They say that bringing some bad stuff, but I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it or I haven't experienced it. So I'd like to actually check it out. But
Marco Nolan 38. Skinwalkers are just America werewolves.
What would you say, Chris? Are skinwalkers just an American werewolf?
No, again, you have to go to those people that, practice that, down in Navajo country, Pueblos, Zunis, Apaches, all those, they consider them their medicine people or a type of medicine people. So I guess what you would call them are shapeshifters.
Liberty Nobody, I love the podcast. Well, thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate that.
Poopy Jackie? What are they called in Mexico?
Dang, is that Tyler? Are you in the chat?
I think it's Poopy, yeah. Poopy Jackie. We're just laughing at that because the last live we had, Tyler said that he deuced on himself. It was on live, it was on YouTube, but he was talking about playing hide and go seek, so
that's why we keep making references to that.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Deuce Randall.
But thoughts on the Poopy Jackie said, what are they called in Mexico? What do you call what? The Goat Man or Skinwalkers or?
I think do they call that Chupacabra?
Well, they have their Skinwalkers down there in Mexico. So, yeah, they got one. Yeah. But that, how you say that, Chupacabra is a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was mentioning that the Goat Man or Skinwalkers.
The thing I really like hearing are those stories from Mexico, because you talk about some eerie stuff. They got some eerie stuff down there, and they sound just like Indian stories.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they have their own form of witchcraft and all kinds of different supernatural things. So, I know I know a lot of Hispanic people, and my son-in-law, his family, they tell some crazy, spooky stories. So, I always try to get them to tell, let me record some of them, but, they say, they're scared to do that. So, I have to respect them too. But, I will say those guys from that old Mexico country, man, they got some wicked stuff, that roam those little communities too. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, I'd love to go down there and be battling it out. No.
Having a storytelling battle. Step to the stage, sir.
Lewinsky said, thoughts on the Appalachian Mountains? I don't know.
I have a one really, and it's a larger thought, but it's really not specific. A lot of people go missing in the Appalachian Mountains. A lot of people do. We will talk about that in a future episode. Missing 411.
Yes. Is HARP considered a conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Softly Birdo said yes, California. It said Joshua Tree. I don't know if that is though.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, my great grandpa said that Jeepers Creepers was a real entity. Have you heard that too?
So I saw something on YouTube, which, it's YouTube, that actually Jeepers Creepers was based on a real person. Now, I don't know if it's an entity or if it's a person, but I have heard that.
I've heard several stories about that too myself. They say it was based on a real entity, and it's how you say? I want to say I would consider it this is just me, but like a gargoyle type entity, but it only comes around like every so often. Not like the movie though. It's more frequent, but it comes around certain time of the year, and it actually does more stuff than what you would see in that movie. So a lot of those I would also consider it kind of like a Mothman entity too, because some of the stories that they have, it warns you of things, but not in a good way. So anyway, a lot of those stories are pretty crazy, but yeah, I have heard that Jeepers Creepers was actually a real live, how you say, story of about an entity up in that Ohio, Wisconsin area.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Whoa. Just right up the road. That's so crazy. Our friend from New Zealand said, yeah, I know a few stories regarding, he's talking about, when he's talking about Goatman, apparently he's on the desert road near one of our mountains.
Wow.
Megan Harris, I'm glad I can make y'all laugh. Of course. We're down to laugh all the time. There were tons of people who have seen something like that. They say it looks just like Jeepers Creepers. He was talking to Softly Brutal. That's so wild. The ambulances would get calls to a park and saw it twice.
Wow.
Some say
that's kind of crazy.
Then Goatman. Some say not to pick him up, but some say you have to pick him up if you see him and he won't hurt you.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna let him just keep on hanging outside the road.
Also, Lobo Zuni witches. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's Zuni's African tribe, correct?
No, that's Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those Zunis.
Zuni sound like African to me.
They do have Zuni witches out there, and I'd just be careful if I was you. Who you naming on that one?
Softly Brutal and Callie. No, we sit around. Oh, they're talking to each other. So, Carne Asada Taco and Softly Brutal are talking to each other. I'll let y'all talk. What are they called in Mexico? Is it Nahuatl? I don't know.
Lechuza?
No, it's Nahualth. Eyes wide open. Somewhere like Peekaboo.
Dang.
Poopy Jackie, the Skinwalkers. Oh, okay. So she was talking about the Skinwalkers down in Mexico, if they have another name or the same thing. I'm assuming. Sammy Flores Duendes. Their version of the LPs.
Oh yeah. Those are. I think I've heard that Duendes are more hairy. Like they're really hairy.
Like, go ahead.
No. I'll just say they're hairy.
Lechuzas? What's that?
It's a witch.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me more about your cultural views of God?
I'll let Chris hit that one. Chris, you have anything on that one?
I don't know exactly. What was the question?
They just said, can you tell me more about your cultural views of God? From Miss Michelle.
Well, I can only speak for Muskogee people. We believe in a creator, and we believe that all things were created by him, good and evil. And, there's certain reasons why he made certain things the way they are. And, our creator, the one that we believe in, he sits in the east. And anytime we're needing help or we need to honor him, we face the east. And we make special prayers to him, in certain ways. So, again, our belief is that, he sits on high and he can do all things. And, again, even if we're maybe not so right, we can always go to him and ask for help. So, that's, I don't know if that's answering your question or not, but, that's, kind of old Indian, old Muskogee way. But, today we also have influence from the church. And so, nowadays, we really embrace that Christianity type belief as well. But you got some out there that believe he's one and the same. So that same Christian God is the same God that we originally believe in. So, again, that's kind of only can speak for Muskogee people, but
Mr. Dinky Krabs, yes, the Necrophonic app is a very advanced EVP. It's up to date, and a lot of people say that the app speaks on things that no one else talks about.
Yeah, I have heard that. Now I have never. I'm not going to play with it, honestly. I mean, but I have heard that it's basically. I've heard some of it saying that basically it tells a little bit of the future sometimes. But yeah, I wouldn't mess with it.
Well, he said I had the privilege to talk to my uncle one last time from hell.
Jesus, literally.
I guess on the app. Eyes Wide Open, Joshua Trees in California. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know what Joshua Tree is or who that is. I'm sorry. Do any of you walk with Creator? We just kind of went over that. Your thoughts on all these alien videos being released by the government? Do any of you have stories?
I'll tell you a story from my cousin who just told me this story. Basically, he walked into the room, and this is a really short story. He walked in the room, and there was these orbs of light in the room. The extraterrestrial, I guess you say UAP, UFO, whatever you want to call it, is really prevalent with in Native culture. We've spoken about star people in a prior episode. Basically they brought things down to us. They brought us knowledge. They helped us out when we needed to be helped. Also, too, they stopped seeing us when we weren't right. Like when we weren't, when the people stopped, following, that the good way, I guess you could say. But that's thing that's from history books on. It's prevalent in Native culture is aliens and extraterrestrials or just really star people in general. Just people that come down, whatever it may be, So that is prevalent.
Try to get through these. Thoughts about owls. Kind of went over that earlier. Any old mining town Indian village stories?
I don't have any of those. If you have any, send them our way.
Yeah, send them our way. Do you have stories of good beings in Maui? Oh, wait. Do you have stories of good beings on Maui and we have fairy people, but they left when Europeans came?
Dang. Yeah. That's crazy because, it brings up, a story that was told to me. I mentioned earlier in this stream, Jackson Lewis, when he was a kid, when he was real young, basically the LP basically is similar to what I guess your culture is with, I guess, fairies, left for a long time. And they didn't because we weren't living right. Like our people were going the Western way, the European way, or the Eastern way now, but it's Western now. But we're going the European route, and we're believing in European beliefs and what they were doing. And the LP left. They weren't helping us find medicine anymore. They weren't doing really anything to help us out. Well, when Jackson Lewis was a real young guy. Basically on his horse he had an LP leading I guess really that section of Muskogee people to Oklahoma, here where we're at now. So that's something similar to what you're mentioning too in Maui that you mentioned.
Russell, I hope someone is behind you because I seen an arm. LOL. Nobody's there.
Yeah, that's weird.
Whoa. I also remember that I call upon my ancestors and protectors guided me while I was using the app. Oh, that necrophonic app.
Yeah.
Southwest Macavs got all the same stories. They told me it was a gift for me, but my mind was blown to oblivion. I'm surprised I didn't go wacko using that app.
Man, that's pretty crazy. Like I said, I wouldn't mess with you. You wouldn't catch me dead on that.
I'm not going to mess with it.
I mean, literally dead. You won't catch me dead on that, literally.
Let's see.
Hey, hit those like button, guys. We're
about to wrap it up. But
we are about to break our record. Our record is 12,000 likes. If we can break that record, we would very much appreciate. I was gonna have something for y'all, but We'll hold off.
We'll be back Wednesday. You want to come back Wednesday?
Yeah, we can definitely try. We'll see if Deuce Randall can can join us. But
DR? No.
DR. Dang. But yeah, no. Let's break that record today. We're at let's see, 10,000 and a half. If we can hit like 13,000 and break our record today, that'd be amazing. Also, too, if you want to send us a gift real quick, we appreciate that too. Everything's going to merch. We're going to try to, step our game up on that because we really want you guys, since a lot of you guys, we appreciate the comments of saying that you've enjoyed our podcast and what we do. That's something that we really want, we really want you guys to have is some merch of ours.
I saw something too. I thought it was a tail, maybe a puppy. There really is no one behind you. That was creepy. Nope, no one's here. Just us three.
Just three lads.
My dog's in my bedroom over there. So point it out when the video comes out. I saw where a UFO landed one time where it was perfect burnt little circles spaced out perfectly in grass.
I actually told a story on the Star People episode that there was that similar thing that you mentioned, but mine was a whole big circle. It's pretty crazy.
It was behind your right arm.
Yeah, we're not sure what that was.
I don't know. I'm not going to think about it. Love from the Mojaves, if I'm getting that right. Jin King of Hearts. Sorry if I butchered that. My grandma used to tell us if we played outside too long at night, something would be playing with us.
Ooh, yeah, that's... Yep.
Shout out to JT Stanley for giving us some love and roses.
Appreciate
gifts. That. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'll probably end it here, and we're going to be back Wednesday night. Okay, left arm. There's something white.
I'm trying to think of what I have
waved,
going on.
Kind of. I don't know. You're freaking me out. No, just kidding. This is my left arm right here. But no cards, no dice, no playing at night. But yeah.
We're almost there, guys. Almost at 13K.
Hit those hearts. Send us some hearts. But we'll be back Wednesday night. We got a new episode of the podcast coming out Friday. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're going to be there. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out here on TikTok. If you haven't subscribed yet or followed us, follow us on here. We'll be posting some stuff. Check us out October 8th at Porham, Oklahoma. We'll be live at Porham, Oklahoma for the powwow. Come tell us a story. Check us out. Hopefully we can get some merch soon. I'm still working on a lot of stuff. And if you want to tell us a story, we'll video it or we can record it or whatever and then put it on a show or something. And follow us follow and like the page on Facebook as well. Unsolved Mysteries of the Reservation. I don't know if you guys have anything to...
One Man Band 918 is my TikTok. Follow me on there. I just posted the video of the drain and the EVP for it. Other than that, Chris?
Follow me on Christopher Honka Hill on Instagram and on TikTok. But
we appreciate you guys listening. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.